This is a tutorial for suppliers who would like to explore bidding opportunities with the City of Topeka and how they can register to do business with the city. The city has an electronic bidding site where suppliers self-register and manage their own account information. We're going to start at the www.topeka.org website. On the top of the page, under the For Businesses tab, we're going to go under there and go to Bid Opportunities. Bid Opportunities is going to take us to the City of Topeka purchasing site. On this site, you'll be able to see notices to bidders, open bids, contact information for the purchasing department. Under the contact information is a square button, bidding opportunities and supplier registration. We're going to go ahead and click on that, and that takes us to the Supplier Portal. A couple things about the Supplier Portal. There's announcements. An important one is going to be to refrain from using your email address as your username, because you might change, your email address might change. So we want the username for the supplier to be something kind of generic, is what we suggest, so that if the person doing the bidding changes, it's not under someone's, say, specific name. The system also doesn't work well with ampersands and underscores, so try to keep the username simple. Some other important links on the Supplier Portal will be the Supplier Registration Guide and the Supplier Response Guide. The Supplier Registration Guide is a written document serving the same purpose as this tutorial. The Supplier Response Guide is a written document that provides information on how to respond to bids when you browse open events, and this would be after you've registered as a supplier. Some other important links on this Supplier Portal page is the IRS W-9 form and the ACH form. The W-9 form is a required form, so you're going to want to pull that out. And here's an example that we used for this demonstration of a company that we made up, Top City Acme, run by Wile E. Coyote, and we're going to use this to create our supplier registration for the purposes of the video. So you make sure you have your IRS W-9 form filled out in PDF format and have that ready for the next step. The next step to start the registration process is to go up in the top right corner under Anonymous and go down to Register. And this will take us to the supplier registration forms. You're going to want to read the terms and conditions and accept. It will pull us over to contact information, and we're just going to fill this out one step at a time. Anything with an asterisk is required information. Anything without an asterisk, you can fill it out if you want or not fill it out. So for username, I'm going to put the name of our fake supplier, Top City Acme, and there's a space there. And then I'm going to put in a password and confirm my password with the same one. I'm going to go down to information about ourselves, and we'll put in our first and last name, be Wile E. Coyote, and then a phone number to be reached, our main contact number. And then underneath the contact, I'm going to use a generic organizational email address, corporate@topcityacme.com. And then we'll hit next to continue on. Next up is company information. So we're going to put our company. We're going to make up a tax ID, and we'll put in our address, city and state. Then we're going to go over to our diversity codes. So diversity codes, we're going to use this little box there to pull up active diversity codes. And if you have one that applies to your business, attach it to the supplier with this drop-down box. And so we'll just select small business and we'll go to next. So here's some questions that the portal will ask. This one is, do you have a completed W-9? So we'll twirl down this little box and select yes. And then we will go ahead and find our W-9. I'll just put in here, Top City Acme W-9 as the title. And then go ahead and go to my desktop where I kept the Top City Acme W-9. You can see here, WE Coyote, kind of all filled out. And then in file type, I'll just put PDF. Click OK, and that's attached. Go to next. So this is commodity codes. These are codes that you're going to link to your supplier so that any of the keywords that correlate with what you do is automatically attached to bids that come out, and you will be notified. For instance, Top City Acme, we make anvils, so I'm going to go and type in metal, and I'll find here's concrete and metal products, metal paper and plastic, metal bars, plates. So I'll select that and attach it to my contact, and there's the commodity code. If you do more than one thing, you can attach a bunch of commodity codes for metal bars, plates, rods, sheets, etc. You might also say your business does welding. You can attach a welding code and pretty much anything else you can think of. If you search for it, you'll be able to find it and attach it during this part of the supplier registration. We'll go ahead and hit next. Proxy notifications notify specific people in your organization about open bids and anything else that your supplier is notified about. These proxy notifiers can be had. So I'm going to add myself in here. That way, anything that Top City Acme is notified of, I'll be notified also. Now, this also helps during those situations where you register, someone registers, and then years go by. Let's say they don't work for the company anymore. You want to be able to have that generic user ID, maybe a generic email address at the start where we put in our contact information, but then in proxies, you can add specific people that need to know today and this week about the bids. And you can manage those proxies however you like. And that's it. Registration status complete. So at this point, the email address that you listed in company information will get an email saying, congratulations, you've registered. You'll have your supplier number, and you will be in the system. You can now exit the screen by clicking the home button in the top left corner, the little house icon. And under events in the left-hand side, you'll see browse open events. You will now be taken to a table with all the open events available to accept bids. To view an event in its entirety, double-click on the event line. And that is how you register as a supplier to explore bidding opportunities with the City of Topeka.